Welcome to the Blind Justice Podcast, where you discover the insider secrets of injury and accident cases, and all of your law questions get answered. Now, here's your host, Chicago injury lawyer, Scott DeSalvo.
Hey everybody, it's me again, Scott DeSalvo, the injury lawyer.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm a car accident lawyer located in Chicago, Illinois, in case you didn't know.
Dun-dun-dun.
You're all sound effecty today. You're all like theme music.
Yeah.
With my amazing host and biologic theme music producing machine,
Yes.
Amelia Finnefrock.
Hello. Thanks for having me today.
Woo! I hate it when I forget how to breathe properly.
Ugh, isn't it the worst?
Causes me to cough for no reason.
It's like your lungs are jealous. They're like, ugh.
At least if I'm going to cough for no reason while drinking something, I'm getting something out of it.
Right.
Right? When I just like randomly cough when I'm breathing, it makes me think like I've been doing this for years.
Right.
Why can't I get it straight?
Well, and then you think about other people watching you, and you're like, oh, God, they're going to think that I can't even human right, you know? At least if I'm drinking water and choke, it's like, okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, folks, this is the Personal Injury Podcast where we have, for the last few weeks, been answering questions that people send in. And that's what we're doing today. We've got a somebody who was involved in a Chicago car accident who has a question. Amelia, take it away. Would you like to read the question?
I would love to. Yes. I have a question for the Chicago car accident lawyer, i.e., Scott DeSalvo. I was a passenger in a car on the Bishop Fort Expressway. My husband was driving. We were in the left lane. Another car was trying to change lanes and sideswiped us. The other driver told his insurance that we were speeding. Now, they told me they will not cover the damage to our car or for my hospital bills. I do not want to sue my husband or make a claim against my insurance. What do you think I should do?
Well, as you might imagine, I get a lot of car crash questions in my line of work, so I do have some thoughts for you. Thanks for the question. Oh, and I guess I should mention, if you guys have any questions that you'd like answered on the podcast, you can send them to me at scott@desalvolaw.com. That's probably the best way to email it. Otherwise, you can call the office and hit 5 or hit 8 on our virtual call tree and leave your question. And obviously, if you'd like an actual consult off air with me, I'm obviously able to do that too. But if you have a question you'd like answered on the podcast, I'm happy to do it. So what do I think about this car accident thing? So here's the deal. Like, the first thing is, obviously, this isn't legal advice, and a lawyer has to like order medical records, order a police report, get witness statements before they can really evaluate a case 100%. So this is not the gospel, but I can share some thoughts with you. The first one is, if there's somebody who's changing lanes in a car crash and the other person is staying in their lane, it's the other guy's fault. So in other words, it's usually the guy who's changing lanes.
Right.
Right? Because there's a rule of the road that says you don't change lanes until it's safe to do so. Right?
Right.
So here it sounds like, as is very typical, it might just be the insurance company adjuster lying to these people.
Ew.
And saying that, well, our guy said you were speeding. I mean, if I had a nickel for every time I had a good liability case, like I represent somebody in a car crash and it clearly wasn't their fault, every time they always say, well, your guy was speeding. Come on, bro. Really?
Dude.
If they're in the left lane, that's the passing lane.
Right.
You're supposed to be going faster in the left lane, right?
Mic drop.
No, it's just, I'm just saying, liability-wise, it is what it is, right? So I feel like on liability, pending other things we discover, obviously, I feel like it's a pretty strong case from that standpoint. The other thing that really comes to mind is that, if you've been involved in a crash like this, I think you said you went to the hospital. It says something about hospital bills in the question, right?
Yes, it does.
But it doesn't say anything about follow-up care. I mean, if you went to the hospital and that's it, and you feel great, that's fantastic. It's a small case or claim. But a lot of people delay getting follow-up care. They either don't go to the hospital or they don't get follow-up care after a car accident. And any delay in treatment, insurance company love it, because if there's a delay in treatment, they say, number one, how bad could he be hurt?
Right.
Number two, if there's a gap in treatment, is there some mysterious injury we don't know about?
Right.
And is he just trying to get paid on the car crash case?
Yeah.
Now, look, I've been doing this for 20 years. I've never had that actually be true.
Oh, wow.
But it's an excuse that they give to the jury, and it creates doubt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you're hurt or you have ongoing problems, at least go to your family doctor or the neighborhood clinic, get the complaints documented so that there's not a huge treatment gap.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like a lot of people, myself included, when I was in a car crash, I put off going to the doctor because I was worried. It's just kind of heinous, but I was like, oh, what if...
Was it heinous? That's quite a word.
Word of the day, everyone. Heinous. Crazy. I thought, I'm being dramatic. I don't want to, stir the pot, which was ridiculous because I should have just...
Dude, nice people don't want to hire a lawyer. Nice people don't want to get anybody in trouble.
Right.
But the thing is, you get one life on this earth and one body, and you have to protect yourself because you being nice and you not wanting to make a big deal, the insurance companies are soulless. They look at the bottom line, right? Yeah. If they can come up with a defense, even if they're pretty sure it's BS, they're going to do it.
Right.
And they're going to use it to either deny your case or offer you way less money than it's worth. So the last thing I wanted to bring up is it doesn't say whether you made a police report, and it sounds like you're a little confused about who to make a claim against and all this stuff. If you're in a car crash, especially if you suspect any injury at all, even a minor injury, definitely make a police report. I mean, first of all, if you're in a crash, you're supposed to make a police report, right, under the law.
Right, yeah.
A lot of people don't do it, but especially if you've been injured, here's what a lot of people don't know about car crash cases. One of the first things injury lawyers do after a car crash when they sign up the case is they get the police report. Why? I'll tell you why. It identifies the driver of the other car, the owner of the other car, any witnesses to the crash, and it also discloses insurance information.
Well, that makes it so much easier to win your case.
I need to know that stuff. If I don't know who hit you, we could still do what's called an uninsured motorist claim, but if it's a hit and run and you have insurance. But the police report is a big deal because the police will obtain the owner of the car, the driver of the car, the insurance information, and that's essential info. Here's what happens when people get into a crash. They have a crash. The last thing in the world they're thinking about is writing down all the details, especially if they're hurt.
Exactly.
Which is why if you've had a crash, definitely make a police report and get a copy of it, or at least get the report number and the agency.
Just with anything, it's all documented. Right?
Well, here's the thing. I'm like you in my private life. I don't want to go to the doctor. I don't want to make a report. I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
Right.
But here's the thing, man. These folks are in their car doing what they're supposed to do. Right. Somebody smashes into them and there's a doctor bill involved. Who should be responsible for it? Should they eat it, or should the guy who's being careless and causes the injury be responsible?
Yeah, the latter.
It's like when you go to a little store and they got that sign, you break it, you buy it.
Right.
It's the same concept.
Exactly.
You broke the glass unicorn. You knocked it off the shelf. Guess what? You just bought the glass unicorn.
You broke my femur because of your reckless driving, so,
The words for the day, femur and heinous.
There'll be a quiz at the end of this podcast.
Gang, I hope that this information helps you guys out. If you ever have a question or anything, definitely give me a call at the office at 888-HURT-318. It's a toll-free 24-hour line, and I'm always available to answer any questions, whether you have a case or not, and you'll hear the rest of my pitch at the end of this podcast.
So if I call you at 2 a.m., you will pick up the phone?
Well, someone will. It's not going to be me. I can't work 24 hours a day. Sometimes
totally.
I wish I could, though. You always hear this stuff about, the Founding Fathers. Ben Franklin only needed 4 hours of sleep. I'm like, not me.
Yeah, no.
I'd prefer to sleep 20 hours a day, and the house cat schedule, right?
Well, didn't Ben Franklin die at, a younger age?
Did he? I don't know. I thought he lived...
Can we get our intern on that? I don't know.
Yeah, our huge research staff. So, folks, thanks for listening. Amelia, thanks for joining me. Well done.
Of course.
And we'll catch you on the next one, folks. Thanks.
See ya.
Thanks for listening. I truly hope that the information in the podcast helps you no matter the situation you find yourself in. but you might need more answers or some more direct help. So there are 3 ways for you easily to find out more and to get help. If you call my toll-free 24-hour helpline, 888-HURT-318, you'll have a couple of options. 888-HURT-318 is my toll-free 24-hour telephone line. You can call that number and speak with my team night or day. First, you can call 888-HURT-318, and you can speak to me for a free consultation about your case or situation. That's always free and no obligation. Second, you can tell the operator that you'd like a free copy of my injury DVD and book. I created the DVD and book, and I give it away for free to injured people who need answers but who might not be ready to talk to a lawyer yet. Same deal, 100% free, 100% no obligation. Third and finally, you can check out my YouTube channel for informative videos about the injury case and claims process, or check out my other podcasts for more information and interesting interviews with people who know different things about various aspects of the law. I've put all of this together to help you and to answer your questions. Now, you can also help me, and I hope that you will. If you enjoyed the podcast and if it helped you at all, please subscribe, and if you can, take a minute and please post a positive review of the show. If you're listening to the podcast on YouTube, like the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you know anyone who might enjoy the podcast, please spread the word and share it on Facebook. It's my mission to spread good information to as many people as possible, and your liking and reviewing and subscribing to the podcast helps me get the word out. Thanks again. This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It doesn't substitute for consulting with a lawyer. If you have a case, speak with a lawyer right away.